Jaya Nityananda Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Nitai Gauranga Jaya Nitai Gauranga Nitai Gauranga Jaya Nitai Gauranga Nitai Gauranga Jaya Gaura Hari Nitai Gauranga Jaya Gaura Hari Gaura 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 Hari Gaura 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 Hari Jaya Sachinandana Gaura Hari Jaya Sachinandana Gaura Hari Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Gaura Hari Bol Jaya Radha Govinda Radha Govinda Radhe Jaya Radha Damodara Radha Damodara Radhe Jaya Jagannatha Jaya Jagannatha Jaya Baladeva Jaya Subhadra Jaya Giri Govardhan Giri Govardhan Giri Govardhan Jaya Giri Govardhan Jaya Gauranitai, 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 Jaya Gauranitai. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Srila Prabhupada. Gaur Premanandi, Hari Hari Bol, Jayom Vishnupad, Paramahansa, Parabhajak Acharya, Astar, Sri Shivan. ISKCON BBT founder, Acharya Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Prabhupada Ki Jai. Nitya Lila Pravishta Om Vishnupad Divine Grace, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Ki Jai, Nama Acharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Prem Se Kahosh Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktivedanta Ki Jai. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopanath Shama Kunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan Ki Jai. Shri Brajamohanam Ki Jai. Shri Navadvi Maya Pradam Ki Jai. Shri Lachal Jagannath Puridam Ki Jai. Gangamayi Ki Jai. Jamunamayi Ki Jai. Bhakti Devi Ki Jai. Shrimati Tulsi Maharani Ki Jai. Your most beautiful Lordship Shri Shri Radha Govinda Ki Jai. Shri Shri Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Ki Jai. Shri Shri Gauranitai Ki Jai. Samabhita Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai. Going back to home, back to Godhead Ki Jai. ISKCON New York Yatra Ki Jai, Brihad Madanga Transcendental Book Distribution Ki Jai, International Food for Life Transcendental Prasadam Distribution Ki Jai, Shri Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai, Nitai Gaur Premanandi, Hari Hari Bol. All glories to the seven devotees, All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Sri Sri Guru and Gauranga. Lord Srila Prabhupada. So this morning we're reading from the Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adi Lila, chapter 4, which is entitled Confidential Reasons for the Appearance of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And we will do 2 verses today, verse 70 and 71. But before we start, let us recite the Mangala Charana. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swamini Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pacharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshtarine Om Agyana Timarandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Unvilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtang Shapitang Zena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vande ahang Sri Guru Shri Tapada Kamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavangscha Shri Rupam Sargadatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Tang Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parjana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitangscha Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vancha Kalpatarubhya Shah Kripa Sindhu Evacha Patitanang Pavanebhyo Vaishyavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Today is also the disappearance, yes, of Narottam Das Thakur, so we'll say a few words about that great Acharya. So, text number 70 of the 4th chapter of the Adi Lila. Let me make that a little bigger. Can you see clearly? Okay, I think that should be big enough. Tayor apyubayor madhye Radhika Sarvatadika Mahabhava Sarupeyam Gunai Ativariyasi Tayorapyubayor Madhye Radhika Sarvatadika Mahabhava Sarupeyam Gunaya Ativariyasi Tayor Apyubayor Madhye Radhika Sarvatadika Mahabhava Sarupeyam Gunaya Ativariyasi. Please chant. Vaishnavis. So, synonyms. Tayaho, of them. Api, even. Ubayaho, of both. Chandravali and Radharani. All long A's in Radharani's name. We say Radharani, but it's Radharani. All of those are stressed. Radharani. Okay, Madhye, in the middle. Radhika, Srimati Radharani. Sarvata, in every way. Adhika, greater. Mahabhava Sarupa, the form of Mahabhava. Iyam, this one. Gunai, with good qualities. Atipariyasi, the best of all. So, Srila Prabhupada's translation for this verse. Of these two gopis, Radharani and Chandravali, Srimati Radharani is superior in all respects. She is the embodiment of Mahabhava and she surpasses all in good qualities. Please repeat. Of these two gopis, Radharani and Chandravali, Srimati Radharani is superior in all respects. She is the embodiment of Mahabhava and she surpasses all in good qualities. Srila Prabhupada's one line purport. This is a quotation from Srila Rupa Goswami's Ujjvala Nilamani, Radha Prakarana number 3. So we'll go on to the next verse. And we'll do this responsibly also. Now we've switched to Bengali. Krishna prema bhavita yanna chitendriya kai. Krishna nija shakti radha krida rasahaya. Krishna prema bhavita yanna chitendriya kai. Krishna nija shakti radha krida rasahaya. Krishna prema bhavita yanna chitendriya kai. Krishna nija shakti radha krida rasahaya. Anyone else? Okay, synonyms. Krishna prema. Love for Lord Krishna. Bhavita, steeped in. Yanra, whose? Chitta, mind. Indriya, senses. Kaya, body. Krishna, of Lord Krishna. Nija Shakti, his own energy. Radha, Srimati Radharani. Kridara, of pastimes. Sahaya, companion. Srila Prabhupada's translation for this verse. Her mind senses, and body are steeped in love for Krishna. She is Krishna's own energy, and she helps him in his pastimes. Please repeat. Her mind, senses, and body are steeped in love for Krishna. She is Krishna's own energy, and she helps him in his pastimes. Srila Prabhupada's purport. Srimati Radharani is as fully spiritual as Krishna. No one should consider her to be material. She is definitely not like the conditioned souls who have material bodies, gross and subtle, covered by material senses. She is all spiritual, and both her body and her mind are of the same spiritual embodiment. Because her body is spiritual, her senses are also spiritual. Thus, her body, mind, and senses fully shine in love of Krishna. She is the personified Hladini Shakti, the pleasure-giving energy of the Lord's internal potency, and therefore, she is the only source of enjoyment for Sri Krishna. Sri Krishna cannot enjoy anything that is internally different from him. Therefore, Radha and Sri Krishna are identical. The Sandhini portion of Sri Krishna's internal potency has manifested the all-attractive form of Sri Krishna. And the same internal potency in the Hladini feature has presented Srimati Radharani, who is the attraction for the all-attractive. No one can match Srimati Radharani in the transcendental pastimes of Sri Krishna. So, this description of Radharani, at this particular point in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, is relevant because Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami is making the point that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, after all, this is Chaitanya Charitamrita, he's making the point that Sriman Mahaprabhu is the combination of Krishna and Radharani. Originally, Krishna and Radharani are one, but they've separated eternally for, as is stated here, pleasurable pastimes. So, Krishna appears in the Kali Yuga after the Dwapara Yuga, that he appears as Bhagavan Sri Krishna. He appears in that very next Kali Yuga as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Why? Prabhupada said, when Krishna comes in his original form, Swayam Bhagavan Krishna, he's a supreme person, so he's not asking, he's ordering. Sarvadhamam pratyaja, mamekam sharanam pratyaja. You surrender to me, you rascals. All of you rascals here in this material world, just surrender to me, and I will protect you from any sinful reactions that may seem to accrue from following my orders, just like Arjuna. Arjuna did not want to fight, he did not want to kill his relatives, both immediate and extended family. Prabhupada explains in one Gita lecture on the first chapter of Bhagavad Gita that it's natural. Why do you work hard to gain wealth and prestige and honor? Because you want to show off to your relatives and friends. So if all the relatives and friends are dead, who are you going to show off to? It seems pointless. To fight, kill everybody, you gain the kingdom, but you have nobody to share it with and show off to. And besides that, Arjuna is a pure devotee of the Lord, so completely soft-hearted. Even though he's a warrior, Kshatriya, he's soft-hearted. Doesn't want to kill anything or anyone unnecessarily. So, Krishna is saying, as a Supreme Lord, surrender. Don't continue to be rascal. You've been a rascal for so many lifetimes in this material world, suffering the reactions to your sinful activities. And whatever passes as pleasure is very meager, flickering, and of questionable desire. Just like we know, everybody ultimately is chasing after pleasure from another material body. But if you look at the composition of a material body, it's not desirable. So you have to be mad to try to squeeze something out of something that's pleasure out of something that's not desirable. So when Krishna leaves this planet at the end of the Dwapara Yuga, when Krishna leaves, this is when Kali Yuga starts. Krishna Sudamo Pagate Dharma Jnana Nibisaha Kalo Nasadrishangesha Puranaka Denodita. When Krishna leaves, that's when Kali Yuga begins. Because when he leaves, for his own abode, Swadharma Upagate. All good qualities, all good activities leave with Krishna. Dharma, Jnana, Adibisaha. Beginning with real religion, real spirituality. Jnana, real knowledge. All of that leaves when Krishna leaves. So this Bhagavatam is supposed to give us that. But in addition to the Bhagavatam, he comes again in the Kali Yuga as a Chana avatar, covered avatar. He's not declaring himself to be Bhagavan. He's declaring himself to be a devotee of Bhagavan and teaching us how to devote our activities, our minds, as Krishna demanded. Krishna says, Manmana Bhava Mad Bhakta. Think of me and become my devotee. But Prabhupada said, when Krishna orders the foolish rascal conditioned soul saying, it's too much. Who is he to order me? Why should I do that? I got so many other engagements I want to pursue. So Krishna, understanding our rascal mentality, comes back as Mahaprabhu in that very next, because Krishna appears once in a day of Brahma, which means once in 1,000 cycles of the 4 yugas. And in that, again, in subsequent Kali Yuga, he appears as Lord Chaitanya. So Lord Chaitanya is Krishna in the mood of Srimati Radharani. And what is Radharani's mood? That's what we're hearing here. That she is the pleasure-giving potency of Krishna's internal energy. There's the Sandini, and then there's the Hladini. So she's a personification of Hladini Shakti, and her only business is giving pleasure to Krishna. Prabhupada said in one class, we all laughed because he said, Radharani actually has 2 businesses in service to Krishna. She's eternally cooking for Krishna, and she never makes the same preparation twice. And she's also eternally dancing for Krishna's pleasure. Prabhupada said, but of the 2, dancing is more important. He said, if Radharani would stop dancing, the whole thing finished. Prabhupada said like that, we all laughed. The whole thing finished if she stops dancing. So we should understand how important is dancing. It's one of the 64 arts. And when we come in the kirtan, we're meant to chant as far as possible, as deeply as possible from the heart. But we're also meant to dance. Sometimes we forget that. We come, we stand like a Garuda Stamba. We just stand and Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. We're supposed to dance also. And Prabhupada showed that vividly in London when he danced the entire way of the Rath Yatra. And the cops were worried. This old man is dancing, and because of his dancing, all the devotees are going crazy. Tell him to sit down, but Prabhupada wouldn't sit down. He danced the whole way. So dancing is a very important part of our sadhana, of our bhakti yoga process. So don't be shy. Come and dance. Chant and dance. And Prabhupada repeated many times, this process is so easy. Chant, dance. When you get tired, take a little prasadam, and then sit down and hear a little philosophy. That's all. You do all those things and you will go back to Godhead. So it's being mentioned here about Radharani's qualities, that she has good qualities. Of course, her qualities are transcendental. And just as a reminder, I wanted to read those 25 qualities. Why 25? She has unlimited qualities, but 25 are prominent. So we're going to read from the Madhya Lila about Radharani's qualities. Very nice. I'll just read the Sanskrit myself, then we'll do the translation. It says, Atta Vrindavaneshwarya Kirtyante Pavara Guna Madhureyam Navavayash Chalo Pango Jvalasmita Charuso Bhagire Kadya Gandon Maharita Madhava Sangita Prasarabhigya Ramyaban Nama Pandita Vinita Karuno Purna Vidagda Patavanvita Lajashila Sumaryada Taira Gambira Shalini Suvilasa Mahabhava Suvilasa Mahabhava. One line missing here. I'm losing my place. Need to go back up. Yes. Gokula Prema Vasatir Jagat Shreni Lasadyasha Govarpata Guru Sneha Sakti Pranayita Vasha Krishna Priyabali Mokya Santata Shavakeshava Bahula Kim Gunastasya Sankyatita Harir Iva. So now we'll read the translation. Srimati Radharani's 25 chief transcendental qualities are: 1, she is very I don't know why this thing is, let me see. Let me go to reader mode. And it won't jump around like that. Okay. Srimati Radharani's 25 chief transcendent qualities are: 1, she is very sweet. 2, she's always freshly youthful. 3, her eyes are restless. 4, she smiles brightly. 5, she has beautiful auspicious lines. How many lines? And where? 3 lines on the neck. That's what's being referenced here. She has 3 lines on her neck. 6, she makes Krishna happy with her bodily aroma. Quite distinct from our material situation. In the material world, we classify smell into 2 categories: aromas and odors. So anything that smells good is an aroma, and anything that smells bad is an odor. And practically everything here smells bad, but still we say, okay, rose, the aroma of rose. But any aroma in this material world is not going to attract Krishna. Not the way Srimati Radharani makes Krishna happy with her bodily aroma. Number 7, she's very expert in singing. 8, her speech is charming. 9, she's very expert in joking and speaking pleasantly. 10, she's very humble and meek. 11, she's always full of mercy. 12, she's cunning. In other words, don't cross her. You won't get away with it. 13, she's expert in executing her duties. 14, this thing is jumping around like anything. What is going on? Let me see. I think I'll go to full screen mode. That will make it easier. Okay. 14, yes. Okay, my computer is acting up here. It's skipping over a certain portion. All right, let me. No. Function. All right, I know what I'll do. I will go to it's 2387 to 91. Okay. If I go to the database, it won't do that. This is a PDF, and somewhere or other it's not acting properly. So if we go to content, Chaitanya Madhya 23, life's ultimate goal, and then we go to text 87. Yeah, here we go. All right, now we have a scroll bar. So 14, she is shy. 15, she's always respectful. 16, she's always calm. 17, she's always grave. 18, she's expert in enjoying life. 19, she's situated at the topmost level of ecstatic love. 20, she is the reservoir of loving affairs in Gokula. 21, she's the most famous of submissive devotees. 22, she's very affectionate to elderly people. That's very important. Gurvapita Gurusneha. 23, she's very submissive to the love of her friends. 24, she's the chief gopi. And 25, she always keeps Krishna under her control. In short, she possesses unlimited transcendental qualities just as Lord Krishna does. So in relation to today's verse from the Adi Lila, these 2 things are very important. That she always keeps Krishna under her control. And so that's why in our line, our sampradaya, we always start out with Radharani's name. Radha Govinda, Radha Damodar, Radha Gopinath, Radha first. And even in the other expansions of the Lord, like Sitaram, Lakshmi Narayan, the feminine form comes first. And that's stated earlier actually in this 4th chapter, that Devi Krishnamayi Prokta Radhika Paradevata Sarva Lakshmi Sarva Kanti San Mohinim Pura. That this Devi, Radharani, she is the source of all the other Lakshmis and other consorts of the Lord. So whenever Krishna expands, Radharani also expands to become his consort. So all of the Lakshmis in the Vaikuntha realm, all of the queens in Dwarka, they're all expansions of Srimati Radharani. So in our line again, it's stress this worship of Radha and Krishna, but approaching Radharani first. Approaching Radharani first. Understanding that since she's the topmost worshiper, devotee of Krishna, if we get a drop of her mercy, then we can attract Krishna. Without that, we cannot attract Krishna. And therefore, ours is a arohapanta in terms of worship. In terms of knowledge, it's descending, avaroha. Knowledge comes from Krishna to Brahma to Narada and comes down, and we only repeat what we get in that line. We don't speculate, we don't try to figure out. Whatever comes down, the Mayavadis, they speculate. Their knowledge path is aroha. Today I know this, tomorrow I know more and more and more. I try to figure things out and increase my knowledge. And also the materialists, so-called scientists, they're always trying to increase their knowledge with this experiment, that investigation. Our knowledge path is avaroha, descending. But the worship path is aroha. We offer first to Guru, Param Guru, all the way up to Krishna, through Radharani, and then to Krishna. We're not so presumptuous that we go on the altar, we offer to Krishna first. No. Everything starts, and therefore, when we go on the altar, we pray first of all for the permission and blessing of Guru. Shri Guru Paramananda Parimananda Palapada Brajananda Prajananda Sevayamaya Niyojaya. We have to get the mercy and permission and blessings of Guru in order to worship Radha Krishna. We don't just jump on the altar and worship Radha Krishna. So we should always be mindful of that we're living in Radharani's house. Wherever there's a temple of Radha Krishna, Sitaram, Lakshmi Narayan, it is the feminine aspect who is running that house. And even in ordinary dealings, whenever I attend a wedding, I always advise the new groom to don't interfere with the running of the household. Let your wife run the household if you want a peaceful life. Let her select the color of the wall, let her select everything if you want a peaceful life. Because it's natural. That's natural that the woman wants to decorate. That's why women are known as Stri. Stri means that agent through which things expand. So the first expansion is children and the home and everything. Let them do that. That's their natural position. And if you interfere, you will find that things are not very pleasant. And even if she asks your advice, dear, what color do you think we should paint the wall? Immediately you should ask her, what color do you want? Because if you state some color, she'll say, you want purple? I don't like purple. And then you have to either back down or get into a fight, so don't do that. So this is Radharani's house, so we should always be mindful of Srimati Radharani. What does Radharani want? Radharani simply wants us to follow Krishna's advice and surrender to him and render service unto him. And that's what the Acharyas teach us. So we could go on speaking about Radharani, but it's Narottam Das Thakur's disappearance day, and he's certainly very highly advanced Acharya in the line of worshiping Radharani, so we're going to read something about him. So let's see, what do we have? Let's go back to contents. To Narottam Das Thakur. Oh. How did I miss it? Narottam. Okay, so just a short synopsis of Narottam Das Thakur's life and contribution to our Vaishnava line. Appearing as the son of a king, Sri Narottam Das Thakur, Sri Thakur Mahasaya, showed all the bodily symptoms of a Mahapurusha, an exalted divine person. He had long arms, a deep navel, golden complexion, beautiful eyes shaped like the lotus petals. In school, he was a Shrutidhar, able to memorize whatever he hears. Who was another famous Shrutidhar in our recent history? Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Although he quickly mastered Sanskrit and the Vedas, he hankered to serve Krishna. He was a lifelong brahmachari. Any of our brahmacharis here? So, I always put you to the test. There's a verse from purport in the 6th chapter of Bhagavad Gita that defines what is a brahmachari. It's given by Yajnavalkya and Prabhupada quotes it in the 6th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. All right, that's your homework. You should learn that verse. It says, one who by body, mind, and words in all times, all places, all circumstances, has nothing to do with sex life, that is a brahmachari. So this is Narottam Das Thakur. That means in all times, places, circumstances, in his body, mind, and words, he never had anything to do with sex life. So he was a lifelong brahmachari. By the mercy of the holy name, Gauranitai, Narottam became detached, left his opulent family, and ran to Vrindavan. He took Diksha from Sri Lokanath Goswami and Shiksha in Gaudiya philosophy from Jiva Goswami. When he arrived in Navadip Dham, all the devotees asked him about the health and activities of the Goswamis in Vrindavan. They were eager to hear the news from Vrindavan. After visiting all of Gauranga's pastime places in Gauramandala, Narottam Das did the same in Sri Kshetra Dham, Jagannath Puri. Then he went to see the devotees and Sri Chaitanya's pastime spots in Shantipur, Srikhand, Kantak Nagar, Ekachakra, and Keturi Gram. In Keturi, Sri Narottam Das Thakur arranged a famous Keturi Mahotsava. This was the first Gaura Purnim festival to honor the divine appearance day of Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. During the festival, 6 deities were installed: Sri Gauranga Deva, Sri Vallabhi Kanta, Sri Raja Mohan, Sri Krishna, Sri Radha Kanta, Sri Radha Raman. With his sweet voice, Narottam Das began a wonderful kirtan. His chanting filled the heavens and brought down tears of prema from the eyes of the devotees, who were all sporting in the ocean of ecstasy. So this is the gold standard of kirtan. We can't imitate. Not that I think I'm such a sweet singer that why aren't the devotees crying? No. This is a pure devotee of the Lord chanting pure Krishna Nam, and the other devotees who are responding are also pure, so that pure Krishna Nam touched their hearts and they cried. Quote, in the midst of their kirtan, the munificent Sri Chaitanya himself and all his personal associates appeared and joined in the Sankirtan. Like a flash of lightning in the midst of a mass of beautiful blue clouds, Sri Chaitanya himself appeared in the crowd of devotees through a divine manifestation. This is taken from Bhakti Ratnakar. So that's an indication. We know Lord Chaitanya is Vishwambara. He's maintaining the whole material universe. So he can appear wherever and whenever he wants. But he's attracted by the pure chanting of the holy names. So not that we should think, again, that we can have such a kirtan that Lord Chaitanya will come, but he can come. He's here on the altar anyway. He's listening to us. He wants us to chant in this mood of selfless devotion, pure helplessness, taking shelter of Krishna. At that time, although Mahaprabhu had left this world years before, many different devotees saw Mahaprabhu in different ways. Those of Sri Navadvip Dham saw him more intimately as Nimai Chandra or Vishwambara, as they knew him during his youth. Those devotees were attracted to Mahaprabhu in Sakya and Vatsala Ras. The followers of the 6 Goswamis who only knew Mahaprabhu as a sannyasi related to him in a mood of Dasya Ras. And hundreds of devotees who also worship Lord Chaitanya in an Aishwarya mood of awe and reverence. So this is recommended for us. Not that we prematurely try to enter into a Sakya or Vatsalya relationship with Lord Chaitanya. We worship Lord Chaitanya in the mood of Aishwarya, just as we do with Radha Krishna. Radha Krishna worship is actually meant to be very simple, because Radha and Krishna, they're displaying their pastimes in the village, Vrindavan, very simple mood. But until we reawaken that pure devotion for them, we have to worship them in this mood of Aishwarya, opulence. This festival is considered a major achievement in Gaudiya Vaishnavism. Hundreds and hundreds of devotees were invited, including direct disciples of Mahaprabhu, Nityananda Prabhu, and Advaita Acharya. At this time, many differences existed in the interpretation of Gaudiya Vaishnavism. Acharya Rani Janavi Devi came from Kardaha with her entourage. Presiding over all the Vaishnavas, she resolved their diverse conclusions into one consistent Gaudiya Vaishnava philosophy. So those who claim that women take a back seat in Gaudiya Vaishnavism, they are wrong. Here it is. Janavi Mata herself settled all the philosophical differences between different camps. For the first time, the festival featured many kirtan styles which integrated the glorification of Lord Chaitanya with the glorification of Lord Krishna and his pastimes. And because so many Vaishnavas were present at one place, it automatically made the Keturi festival extraordinary. It also acted as an important step toward unifying all the Gaudiya Vaishnavas. This is taken from Sri Navadvip Dham Parikrama. Let me serve the lotus feet of Radha Govinda. Let my mind be filled with dedication to their divine forms that defeat the beauty of Cupid and Rati. With a straw between my teeth, I fall at their divine feet and present my humble appeal. O Kishore Kishori, O son of Nanda Maharaj, Shamasundar, and O daughter of King Vrishabhanu, Sri Radha, you enchant even Hari, and your bodily complexion is the color of a golden lotus. O Krishna, with a bodily color like an ingenuine gem, blue jewel, your beauty mocks Cupid. O topmost dancers, as we were explaining earlier, dancing is important. O topmost dancers, Sri Radha and Sri Krishna, please dance within my mind. Lord Chaitanya was also a dancer. What was his given name as a dancer? Nantavar. O you whose beauty increases the charm of your dazzling ornaments, day and night I only wish that I shall go on singing your glories in great ecstasy. Narottam Das serves Srimati Radhika as Champaka Manjari. His samadhi is in Radha Gokulananda's temple courtyard. Srila Narottam Das Thakur ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Gaur Bhaktivinoda ki jai. So, when we come together again later in the evening for kirtan, try to meditate on Narottam Das Thakur, beg him for his mercy, so that we can enter into the real meaning and mood of kirtan, coming in this line from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself, who chanted and danced in ecstasy, just to attract us to the simple form of worship. As Prabhupada said repeatedly, our presentation is extremely simple. Chant, dance, take prasadam, hear a little philosophy, and whatever you're attracted to, share it with others. So if you're a prasadam bhakta, then invite everybody you know to come and take prasadam at the Hare Krishna temple. If you love to dance, come and dance with the Krishna devotees, either in the temple or in Harinam. If you like to chant, ditto, come and chant in the temple, or not ditto, both. Come chant in the temple and also chant on Harinam. Both things are there. Lord Chaitanya stressed this Nagar Kirtan, going out into the public and directly giving people, because without that, there is no hope. There is no hope. As I've said many times on a morning walk once in Los Angeles, Srila Prabhupada, one of his disciples said, Srila Prabhupada, when we preach and we tell people about regular principles, they're not into. Prabhupada slammed his cane in the ground, jammed his cane in the ground, and stopped. He said, why are you surprised? You're preaching to cats and dogs. Make them fortunate. Give them the chanting of Hare Krishna. Give them prasadam. This is what will make people fortunate enough to start to understand the philosophy. Without this chanting, without this prasadam, there is no hope. There is no hope. So Harinam is so important because on Harinam you can do everything. You can distribute books, you're obviously distributing and chanting, you can distribute prasadam. When you go out as a book distributor with a bag full of books, it's not so easy to distribute prasadam necessarily. And you can't just break out into a kirtan, depending on where you are. So the Harinam is that feature from which everything can expand. When you go out and chant in the streets, you generally no problem distributing prasadam, no problem distributing books. Everything can happen on the Harinam party. But if you stress going and distributing books, it's not so easy, again, to necessarily especially nowadays when people are very uptight, so people want to know, is it vegan, and what are the ingredients, and so on and so on. So it's a little tricky sometimes to distribute. Like next month I'm going to the AAR conference in Boston. And we always have prasadam at our booth. The BBT has a booth every year. We've been doing this for decades. So we have a BBT booth, and we bring, technically we're not supposed to distribute any food. But we tell them, we have so many cookbooks, so we like to bring a sample of our cooking, and then the organizers leave us alone. They don't like anybody bringing food because they have their concession booths. They want people to go there and spend money to buy all kinds of abominable food. But we always skirt the issue by saying, these are just samples from our cookbook. We have so many recipes, we want people to get a sample. So sometimes distributing prasadam is, not so easy, but when you go out on Harinam, you can do it all. Distribute prasadam, distribute books, distribute the holy name for sure. So I don't know if there's going to be a Harinam today. I don't think so, because all the NYC Harinam devotees that went to New Vrindavan. But at least we can come together in the temple in the evening and again chant Damodar Ashtam. Jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Hare Krishna. Breakfast prasadam ki jai.